Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extraterrestrials, undesirable invaders from another world, the must be destroyed if possible in our dark past. Watch out and pray.
Greetings and happy Valentine's Day from Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. We are doing a little holiday special today on the Incubus and the Succubus. We thought very appropriate. I am, of course, as always, Tasker here. And we also have Nick sitting right in front of me.
Hey, Tasker.
What?
Did you watch the Oscars last night?
I watched one little bit of, because my mom told me to run over to watch Billie Eilish react very plainly to Eminem.
You know what I'm tired of, Tasker?
What?
I'm tired of seeing all these shoulders and their knees are showing and they got green hair.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the good old days when you'd be lashed for showing your ankles?
Billie Eilish?
Yeah, I'm just tired of seeing all these young hip people thinking it's okay to wear metal dresses and have green hair all the time, and I don't like it. The society we live in today is really changing.
You aren't siding with the boomers now, are you?
I mean, I don't want to side with them, but they have some good ideas.
Now, if that didn't put you in the mood to get with your lover right now, I don't know what will. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, it's me. It's Nick.
Don't worry, the real Nick is back.
Hey, some old guy was sitting in my seat. Happy Valentine's Day. And yes, we're talking about incubi and succubi today. It's going to be, okay, fair warning. This is going to be a sticky episode, all right? There's going to be a lot of bodily fluids. There's going to be a lot of sexual reproductive organs.
Mm-hmm.
You're in for a ride, and I mean that in the most sensual way possible.
Yeah, if you're not okay with words like vagina, and if you're not okay with words like, like balls and cock and shit,
semen,
yeah,
it's going to be a lot of that, and there's going to be we're going to throw some slang in there.
Yeah, you gotta, because we're trying to, give the subject matter the attention that it deserves. But I just think about, do you remember, this was years ago, there was a lady who had to testify in court, but she was so sheltered that saying the word vagina was so not okay for her that she would just grit through it. And so it sounded, she would just be like, vagina.
That's how I say it.
Hey, can I see your vagina? Let me see your vagina.
That's how you picked up girls back in high school, right?
It worked every time.
You just got to be up front. You just got to tell them what they want.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, before we get into the episode, there's a correction from the last episode we want to make.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are kind of retarded. So, it was brought to our attention when we were talking about feet and yards. We said something along the lines of, you know what, we're using yards for our one UK listener. And I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but I'm not a big football guy. But apparently, yards are also used in America.
Well, and I think we had to get somebody to tell us the error. Literally, I watched some of the Super Bowl, and it's never occurred to me, oh, yeah, yards. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, what's the Super Bowl in England this year?
Yeah. So, to our one UK listener, we miss you dearly.
And we're very sorry that we confused our inferior measurement system with your superior one. I've just never had to measure anything 3 feet at a time specifically. All right? But yes, we apologize about that little hiccup there.
Yeah, because they're more like meters and kilometers and centimeters because it's over in tens, which makes it easier in the math department because tens are a lot easier to multiply, etc.
Yeah.
So we understand our mistake.
Yes. Sorry.
So, anyways, we're gonna move on past and we're gonna get into the saucy stuff. We're gonna tell you all kinds of good stuff to here's your situations. You're with your woman right now, or your man, or whoever your significant other may be. You got the lights dimmed down low, and you're going to put this podcast on, and you are going to just have the best romp of your life after hearing what we have to say about Incubus and Succubus.
Yes, ladies. All right. So I want you to go ahead. I want you to put your best lingerie on. Mm-hmm. And gentlemen, I want you to put your Cock rings on.
You gotta last.
Strap on.
Yep.
Strap in. Here we go. So simply put, the incubus and succubus are demonic spirits that are that use sexual intercourse as a means to drain the life force of their victims. Now, it's important to point out up top that an incubus is the male version of these types of demons, while the succubus is the female counterpart.
There's two sides of the coin.
And let's begin by talking about the succubus. In older legends, the succubus was a horrid-looking female demon. Physical characteristics included sharp clawed hands and feet, distorted faces that resembled that of a gargoyle, hunched over bodies that tended to crawl in a very creepy manner rather than walk, like an orangutan.
I was gonna say this is just the ring girl.
It's a lot like the ring girl. And most likely, and most sadly, not some not very bodacious titties.
It is just the ring girl.
It is the ring girl.
Yeah, because she's got that crackly gargoyle face, and I don't think she has claws. Does she?
No, I don't think she has claws in the movie.
Okay. So just
But
add
close.
add some claws to that, and wow, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, picture like the ring girl with a gargoyle face and sharp bird-like talons for like hands and feet, and then that's what is having sex with you in your sleep.
I just pictured that as the ring girl, but with Winston from Overwatch's face.
Hi there.
Oh no.
All right. But medieval to modern day interpretations of the succubus are much more appealing, and this is the one that most people think of when they hear the word succubus, if they know what it means. Flowing, long hair, smooth skin, like ivory or like marble.
Keep turning that light down slowly, boys.
Curvy, right? Oh, just dummy thick.
Dummy thick.
Usually in some kind of leather dominatrix costume.
That's odd. Oh, this is the modern. I thought we were still talking about ancient for a second. I was like, I don't think those were invented.
No, yeah, definitely scantily clad with whips, usually just used to whip their sex slave mortals.
Yeah, they ain't the type to be bossed around. They're the boss.
Glowing eyes, right? Enticing eyes.
Ooh, hypnotic even.
Bat wings and demon horns, like if you're into that, if that's what gets you going.
Yeah, well, dude, there's a whole community, I'm sure, for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're looking at them.
Yeah. So those y'all in the bat furry, is that what that is?
I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't look. If you're a furry, it's cool, man. Do what you got to do, but leave me the fuck out of it. All right.
We don't put our fetishes in your lap. So as long as we can keep that consistent. Well, no, it's not always a fetish with them.
It's most. Come on.
Yeah, I want to be fair to some of them before we're putting them completely on blast. But I mean, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. So, the bat wings, the demon horns. So I want you to go ahead and I want you to picture like, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson or something like that.
Okay.
But with like horns and bat wings, and she just steps on your balls all the time.
Not a bad thought.
Okay. But now, the scary version of the succubus from back in the early days would forcibly have sexual relations with men in order to steal their life force and simultaneously their seed.
Oh, so that's so we're kind of going back to Kelpies a little bit here. They're after that big old load.
They're after the load.
Oh,
and we'll get to that later. Why?
Share the load. It's a Lord of the Rings reference.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Men who claim to have sex with the succubus compared the vagina to an ice cavern, cold and unwelcoming, and probably big.
Yeah. Well, if they're demons, they could probably like readjust according to their partners.
Yeah. Yeah, like a water weenie.
Yeah, kind of like a water weenie.
Malleable.
Yeah. And we know that because of reasons.
We were all fucking 12. We were all 12 at one point.
Of course. But yeah, so it's very cold and unwelcoming. It's very like So, and that's
it's
interesting.
not a good time because if you think about it, now right now we're talking about the relations with the old timey succubus that was horrifying looking.
Right. So
you would look at a creature like that and you would expect their vagina to be cold and welcoming, and then apparently it was.
Got it. Okay. So sorry, I'm so like not like.
The episode is making him hot and bothered.
Yeah, it's very very distracting to think about these cold Winston gargoyle.
Winston gargoyle pussy.
It's messing with my psyche.
And there have been tales of succubi forcing men to perform cunnilingus upon them, as disgusting acidic liquids burn their mouth the entire time. Yikes.
So it's basically like have you ever had like a chicken wing that like just came out of the fryer and that oil like kind of splashes on you and it fucking sears your mouth?
Yeah.
So it's basically like that, just all over and constantly.
Yeah, it's like okay, so the demon will be like, all right, so just I want you to go ahead, put your head down there, yeah, and okay, now start sucking. And then the guy's just like,
goes, he's like, ah! Oh, you got to do it in the Winston voice. Like, all right, now start sucking.
Oh, did somebody say cunnilingus?
I fucking love this episode. Oh, man.
But the more modern version of the succubus that started around the medieval era doesn't really have to force anything for obvious reasons.
Whoa.
They are masters of seduction and temptation to even the strongest willed men. Not only will succubi offer to please the man in any way they can, but they will also offer them other material things like fame, riches, and success, as long as the man essentially becomes their sex slave. And this way, the succubus will have a continuous stream of life force and cum to tap into. And that is the whole point. There is a story I found about a succubus that I think we will all find a little interesting and, dare I say, arousing.
Oh, wow. It's almost like it's perfect for the season.
It starts with a man named Johannes Unisuin.
I don't know.
In the 17th century. Johannes was convicted of witchcraft and burned at the stake in 1628. But before his execution, he confessed to being in a relationship, if you would call it that, with a succubus. Johannes was seduced by this voluptuous woman and forced to renounce God in order to keep getting that snapping pussy.
So take note of that. If you're in a one-night stand and they're like, all right, ready to go, but before you do, I need you to renounce your faith in God. Might be a succubus.
Yeah.
You might be getting drained after that.
And you know what? Look, man, if your life force doesn't mean that much to you, fucking go for it. It sounds like a groovy time.
We all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo.
Yes, we do. Now, Johannes was given the warlock name Crix by the succubus and was even gifted his very own familiar. Like it's like a normal Tuesday on World of Warcraft, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, it's said that Johannes fell deeper into the world of witchcraft and black masses after his sex life intensified with the mysterious succubus. And I'm not going to lie, it sounds like kind of like a dope life.
I was going to say, yeah, it sounds like there's not a lot of downsides to this.
I mean, you die slowly over time as they drain your life force, but you're having a good old time while it's you're like, up until that point, you're just like, you're banging, you're casting spells. You got like a little familiar pet with you who can also probably cast spells.
Yeah.
You know, and you got like these warlock cloaks and you get a warlock name. Come on, man.
Yeah. And it's like, you could be as nerdy as you want, but you're also getting laid on the regular at the same time with like, and this is modern one. So she's like, she's an easy 8 out of 10 plus, if not more.
It probably, dude, that's, there's no, the only losing is you're going to die. And that's not even that big of a loss.
Yeah. And oh, okay. Millennial Nick is definitely back. but like, and it also depends too on if like the whole renouncing God is like, that also comes to that debate of is like, will that affect you? So if you die by a succubus, does that mean your eternal soul is damned to hell forever too?
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen to you. So it's kind of like if it's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna do something in your life that's gonna damn you to hell. So you
True.
may as well just be
Go down in flames.
covered in slime the whole up until you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it just seems to me that it's like if it's a good time, it's probably going to take you to hell. So
Like My Chemical Romance once said, all the good times they give you cancer.
Yeah.
Same thing, man. All the good times that are gonna send you to hell.
Very true. And I mean, we're not encouraging you to pick either way, but you know what? We encourage you to make a decision that you've come up to on your own. And if you feel it's worth giving up your eternal soul for a lifetime of banging and dark cloaks and magic and shit, which like sounds pretty fucking cool.
Sounds fucking dope.
You know what, man? If you think it's worth it, and if you're willing to roll that dice on the afterlife, hey, man, let us know what you think. Give us your story.
Yeah, go. There are plenty of Yahoo Answer threads on how to summon a succubus. So go ahead, look on there. Let me know how it goes. CEOTPK1@gmail.com. Send it our way. I want to know your story. All right, and I want to know, what does your succubus look like?
Yeah, and how does she really put the suck in succubus? You know?
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, now that we've been talking about the succubi and their insatiable desire to steal men's semen, let's talk about what they do with it by introducing the incubus.
I feel like we should reference the band somehow, but I never listened to Incubus.
Me neither. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's
not my cup of tea.
Yeah, because they were like grunge, right? Like kind of like the offshoot, like pop grunge after Nirvana.
I don't know.
Yeah, I literally couldn't tell you. I tried like listening to them the other day, and I was like, I just feel like I'm like 10 years old in the car again and listening to Radio Disney, and then a fucking Incubus song comes on. So no relation to the band. Incubus is the male counterpart of a succubus.
Yes, male counterpart of the succubus. And just like the succubus, the incubus was originally a horrific-looking creature. Okay, it was a little creature, no more than 3 feet tall, with the face that resembled that of a monkey. It also had sharp claws, bat wings, and was covered in either rough, dark skin or fur, and it had horns atop its head. The incubus would also, just like the succubus, move around by crawling in a hunched manner.
So they're kind of just like imps, or just like...
Yeah, especially the incubus looks a lot more like an imp than like the succubus. But yeah, they're definitely, this guy's a lot smaller.
Yeah, little teeny, like those little floaty devils, like anti-cherubs kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, never mind. Actually, I was about to open a can of worms of all the anime porn that's appeared in, but yikes! we'll have to do a separate episode on that, maybe.
I don't know about that. I don't know if we're gonna do it. I don't know if we're doing a podcast on your hentai. All right.
Hey, man, we're all reaching out to every walk of life, right?
Make your own podcast and call it, I don't know, Hentai Today or something. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, in a couple weeks I'll get it together. I just got to make the theme song for it, which will probably get me arrested, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most notably, the incubus had a magnum dong. And those who have...
You gotta do the voice for it.
Okay, most notably, the incubus had a magnum dong.
Magnum dong. Okay.
And those who have had the misfortune of experiencing it said it was as cold as a big ol' icicle. So there's a little bit of a connection here with the succubus's cold and cavernous vagina.
Yeah. This is kind of a side note here, but incubus and succubus don't necessarily like go for like, the opposite gender, or do they just go for anybody?
They tend to go for the opposite gender because that's who they have the best chance of. The early ones, they could probably force any, because they're demons and their whole thing was forcing sexual interaction. Right. They could probably do it to either one, but they still tended to go for, and we'll see why. They still tended to go for opposite sex.
Right.
Modern day interpretations of these two definitely go for opposite sex because those are the ones they're most likely to seduce.
Got it. Okay.
In the modern times, seduction is key in succubus and incubus and how they play it. Okay,
so they're just going for what's in the greater density and just trying, because to them sex is utility. It's how they survive.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it could work with same gender, but it's just if you're going out there and you're rolling the dice and especially back in the day when being gay in any way, shape, or form was persecuted and stuff. It was a lot harder to find. So literally, it was just because they were just harder to find.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I was just curious.
But there is a secondary objective that they have, and that has to do with the opposite sex, and we'll come to that soon.
Okay.
And again, just like the modern day interpretation of the succubus, the incubus follows suit and have the following seductive physical characteristics: big, thick muscles.
Ooh, ladies, you've got to pay attention to this part too.
Yeah, here it comes. All right. Long phallic tails with a little point at the end. If you want to, like a little something sharp in there.
Oh, they'll deadlift for you too.
Yeah, they'll do it. They'll show off those muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful hair swept just so across the face, like a Justin Bieber.
Oh, frames his jaw perfectly.
Large, powerful, dragon-like wings.
Mm-hmm. Think like the Led Zeppelin T-shirt everybody wears.
Yeah, that fucking.
But better.
Yeah, but better. Most importantly, they still got that big old cock. All right.
Save the best for last. Because what way? That's the literal cherry on top, or eggplant on top, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the cherry won't be there long though.
Yeah. Hey. So they're very attractive men.
Yes, very handsome men. All right. Now, incubi have the same main goal as the succubi: to ultimately weaken and kill their victim over time through sexual intercourse. The main difference is their secondary objective, where succubi try to collect the men's cum. The incubi use that jism to impregnate their female victims. So it's like a trade-off. It's a handoff. So the succubus will go like wee, and they'll make the guy come.
Right.
I don't know how, but they'll get it. They'll get the cum. Like I don't know if they just reach in there and with a Ziploc or something.
Yeah.
They'll get the cum. They'll give it to the incubus, and the incubus will then use that to impregnate their female victims, and that is how they reproduce.
Wow. Okay. So, that's really weird. So basically, the succubus just acts as like the ammo pack, and the incubus is the weapon that is charged with it. Mm-hmm. So succubus sucks up all the semen. So by demon magic, gives it to the incubus, and the incubus injects this into just regular humans.
Human females. Yeah.
But isn't the child going to be half human then?
Yeah, and these offspring created by the incubus are called cambions, and cambions are half human, half demon. Most notably, like Merlin. Merlin was a cambion.
Ooh.
So like, and cambions are usually half human, and then specifically half succubus / incubus, depending on what gender they are.
Okay. So then an actual like pure incubus and succubus is just like a demon. They're kind of they're created in a similar fashion.
Oh yeah, it's just their specialty is banging. Like incubus and succubus are just demons, but they are just so good at grinding on those phallics. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And cambions are often deformed and or sensitive to the supernatural, as well as being more magically inclined. And that's kind of what separates cambions from mortals, from regular humans.
Okay. And the Merlin was a really cool example in that, like, cambions isn't necessarily a bad thing, huh? Like, you can still be, like, a functional, if not pretty badass person as a cambion, right?
Yeah, and from what I gathered, it's not, like, for sure that you'll be just, like, a wizard, you know? Like, you could just end up like a succubus as well, or an incubus as well.
Oh, so you can grow into one of them.
Oh, yeah. Because that's how they primarily reproduce. So, like, it's kind of a crapshoot. So, if you come out as a cambion, you could have a hunchback. You could be, like, the most powerful wizard on Earth. Or you could end up just being a succubus or an incubus, and then the whole cycle will start repeating. And then you have to go out and have sex with a bunch of people in order for you to be able to reproduce.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And incubus and succubus don't even have to pay child support, huh?
Don't even have to pay child support. They probably don't even take their kids to Disneyland.
Yeah, right. What's up with that?
And that's really it for the incubus and succubus. But I did decide to have a little look around on Yahoo Answers to see how the people of the modern world are dealing with the incubi and succubi. And yes, I'm keeping the misspelling, bad grammar, and all. That's all going to be left.
That's half of the charm of Yahoo Answers.
Yes, it is. All right, here's a question by Anonymous. How do I tell if a girl is a succubus? Answer. Silver Wren says, she would probably only come to you when you are alone. She would be utterly irresistible and would leave you drained and exhausted, but not in a good way. Slowly, she would wear you away until you, soul, would no longer hold on the body, and you would be blown by the winds of desolation into the outer darkness. My advice? Stay away. What is this, a Airbnb review?
I was gonna say, it sounds like that guy just had a really bad relationship.
Yeah, here's my real quick about that little answer. So they could spell desolation, but they couldn't spell your.
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious.
Weird, right? And here's another answer by Forever King. He says, marry her, then you'll know.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Oh man.
Don't settle but anything for the best, my guys.
That's right.
And ladies.
Question by Nick. Can I still go to heaven if I have a succubus?
Are you sure it's just not you?
No, I was really curious. I wanted to make sure. All right. So I went to Yahoo Answers.
Right. And what answer did you get?
Answer. Anonymous says, you got to be a Satanist if you want to have a succubus because they are girl demons.
Okay.
And there is nothing to be afraid about demon. They are kind and friendly if you're a servant of Satan. And if you're not a Satanist, then you can't have a succubus because they don't want those people who serve Jesus.
So if you're going to heaven anyways, a succubus will just never appear to you because you're not evil enough for it, I guess.
Apparently to this guy. He takes Satanism very seriously.
So that's also another thing to think about then. If we're going to go on the assumption that this guy's correct, if a succubus appears to you, you're probably already not going to heaven anyways, so you might as well just go through with it. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know. This Nick guy sounds like a prude. And here's another answer. Anonymous says, a succubus will take you to heaven every time they visit you. Guaranteed.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So that's your definition of heaven. Like we say, go for it, man.
Do it. Do your thing. Question by Cole Golden. How do I summon Incubus?
The screen name is Willie Pete.
Yes, answer by Willie Pete says... I once knew this guy who summoned an incubus in hopes of having an sexual experience. He messed up big time. He thought the incubus was the female demon. It was weeks before he was able to walk normal.
Ooh,
smiley
that
face.
Magnum dong. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, and so that's what is happening on the internet when people are looking up incubus and succubus. Apparently, a lot of the ones that I skipped over, it was a lot of how do I summon these things. So I think modern day people are really lonely, and they want a succubus or an incubus to come and just help them handle that.
Well, yeah, it's cheaper than paying for sex workers or anything like that.
And it's a win-win because you're getting that physical contact that you crave.
Right.
And if you're that lonely, you probably want to die, and you're going to die anyway from it.
Yeah, and you got to go down in the blaze of glory as like the coolest weirdo on the block.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I get it.
Yeah. I remember, I think I saw a post somewhere where somebody tried to summon a succubus, and then they ended up like they summoned a demon, supposedly, and like it was just like literally the demon just had like just cluster headaches at all times and just wouldn't shut up and was just like really annoying and then just disappeared after a week.
It sounds like yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that would happen. Like if I ever got into like summoning demons, like first of all, I will say I do not fuck with any of that. That shit scares the shit out of me. I mean, I don't know how true all that stuff is, but that's like the one thing I'm like, I don't even want to test it because if it is and you got a fucking demon on your back for the rest of your life, like, and hauntings, like I can't deal with that shit. Like, dude, I like sleeping, but I feel like something would just go wrong. You got the wrong like sprig of elder flower or something like that, and then you fucking get some demon that makes you have diarrhea for a week or something.
I mean, look, you don't know until you try. All right. I for one, love witchcraft and magic and all that shit and summoning shit. Like, I haven't summoned anything yet. I have some stuff in the works. It's not going to be a succubus though.
Yeah, that's it's troublesome, definitely, with succubus. I think if you're single this Valentine's season, and you, well, and also too, like I was saying, with that implication of succubus only appearing to people who are already kind of slated for hell, I would say, you're lonely, you're here on Valentine's Day, you don't really have a date. We are not responsible, of course, for any sort of discord that may happen, but there's options for you, and cheap options too.
Very cheap. So do it.
Yeah, and they're cheap dates because they're getting what they want. Just get ready to wow, that I ate that sentence really bad. Just get ready for no cuddles or anything like that afterwards.
I mean, you don't gotta buy them dinner, so it kind of works out that way, bud.
Oh, and also I thought it was it should be noted that actually the incubus and the succubus, more so on the succubus side, do have a pretty strong presence in pop culture.
Oh yeah,
and I do want to note, especially coming from an artistic background, that's sort of how in pop culture the female figure is a lot more. I would just say more popular, and I mean for obvious reasons. There's just a sort of that the. It's actually really hard to describe about how the male figure is not as doesn't get as good reception as the female figure and stuff. And I mean, I had a professor of mine who would do art shows, and he would, it was just life drawing, which is the ultimate flex of how good of an artist you are. And just to try to prove a point, he submitted nothing but male nude models and stuff. And even though he would win shows all the time, when he was doing the male models, they never got picked. He was starting to lose a lot more and stuff. And I think it's interesting how there's a ton of succubus in popular culture, but there's almost no incubus. And if there is, they're kind of seen as gruesome and stuff. And it's just, I think that's interesting how the male figure, being as aesthetic as it can be, is actually very unpronounced in pop culture.
Yeah, you know what? I want representation.
Yeah, what's up with that?
No, that's a good point though. There are yeah, I mean, pop culture tends to latch onto these things, I think, because because they're bodacious. If I could be quite frank with you, bro.
Well, yeah, one could say, objectively speaking, the female figure has more of a draw to it, whereas the male figure is it's just not as even and they could be as attractive as they come, but it's it doesn't sell as well. It doesn't catch your eye as well. And that might be just from our DNA. That just might come from our back in primal instinct kind of stuff, where it's as a as a hunter-gatherer who's struggling to not starve every single night, you want to find somebody to, of course, bear your children that will survive. And having looks back in those times, it was an indication of health. And so you wanted to, make sure your kids were healthy. Whereas if you got with a woman who wasn't didn't have an aesthetic to her, it's kind of a roundabout way of saying that, oh, they might not be super healthy and my family line is going to die if I get with this person. And it might be just that generationally, going through as we evolved as creatures, as people, and that kind of just now is just in our advertising even. And I don't know. I think that's just a very distinctly human thing. The fact that our entire population, men, women included, tend to prefer the female figure than the male figure.
Yeah. What is this, art history class?
I have a degree in art and it's not getting me anything except little bits in this podcast.
No, that was nice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I get it. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, I just thought it was just an interesting thing to soapbox about for a little bit. So
I know the truth.
Yeah, if you didn't care for that, oh, there is that little on Spotify. There's that little 15-second skip button.
I'm sure plenty of people like it.
Oh, well,
some people listen because they want to hear you talk about actual things. Other people listen because they want to hear me talk about vaginas.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's a little bit of both.
And you know what? Either way, we are proud of you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So is that pretty much it?
That's it for the incubus and succubus. Just a little.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Morgan from Darkstalkers. We're not going to talk about Jennifer's Body with Megan Fox.
Oh man, that was a movie. I saw that in high school,
I missed it.
and I peaked in high school. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Oh man, I remember. Yeah, when Megan Fox was like the big thing, like, and she was one of those. She was a late bloomer too. Like I remember, like they showed her like high school pictures, and she was like had like a unibrow and stuff, and kind of goofy teeth, but like got it together.
Yeah, good
Let's
for her.
see. Yeah. Oh,
Good,
and
good for her.
Yeah, and also we actually watched this movie together a while ago. If you remember VHS, where it was like the little anthology, they had a succubus. That was really creepy.
Yeah, that was a freaking weird movie.
Yeah.
Why'd I say frick, dude? What is this, a Minecraft server?
You got all your expletives out, and now it's like you just regressed back to 10 years old.
Yeah, that movie was good. There was a succubus. Was that the hotel room?
Yeah.
Scene? That
And
was a
then
good scene. Yeah,
that got nuts really quick.
that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look. I have like a little list here of other succubus in media, but also like my computer's at a really weird angle, so I'm trying to look at it while still being on the mic. Oh, there's a succubus in Metalocalypse. I know there was a TV show about him. What was it called? Lost Girl. I never watched it, but
No, me neither.
that's apparently all about a succubus, and
Ooh.
like she apparently is born and doesn't know she's a succubus, or she actually might be a Cambion for all we know.
Ooh.
I don't know. I never watched the show, and I'm sure if you did watch the show, I could be totally wrong. But basically, she gets with her first like boyfriend in high school, and they sleep together, and it kills the boyfriend because she's a succubus, and like her like basically running away and like trying to like figure out how to lead like a different like a life, you know, being somebody who kills people through sex and stuff.
Wicked.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a show. Dante's Inferno, the video game, which by the way, we have no distinct plans yet, but we are thinking of looking into the Divine Comedy of it, and because there's a chalk ton of wonderful, juicy information about like the afterlife and heaven, hell, and purgatory and stuff, and yeah, but I won't get too excited about that because that's a long way in the future.
Yeah, but yeah, a little sneak peek for you guys.
Yeah, and one last thing, there is a Marvel character named Satana, I guess. Satana. I don't know her, but she's apparently a succubus too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like we said, it's going to be all succubus. I'm sorry, it's going to be all succubi and media, but that's
very hard to find an incubus.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was our little Valentine's special. We hope you guys enjoyed the sensuality. We hope that at this point in the podcast, you and your loved one are just deep inside of each other.
Yeah, you got to be at this point.
Like, I really hope this was like Barry White level baby making music for you guys. You know, that was the goal.
Yeah. And also our little Close Encounters challenge is see if you can last to the end of this podcast. If you can, and you're still going strong right now after everything we've said, I don't know how you'd prove it to us. In fact, no, don't prove it to us. Just wear it as a badge of honor inside.
Yeah, good job. Good job
you did
for
it,
not
man.
Busting while you hear two grown men talk. Good job.
And if you're holding out and you're on your last legs, like now is the time you can let it flow, my guy.
Yeah, because we're just gonna go over our social media plugs. So go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, the episode's over.
Okay. Instagram, CEO TPK. Twitter, CEO TPK1. Discord. So it is discord.gg/lowercase b 6 uppercase C uppercase T 5 uppercase M uppercase X.
Yeah, follow us on Spotify if you can. If you like our episodes, so that way you can get updated when we get new releases. But every Wednesday we have a new episode. We haven't messed it up yet.
Not yet.
And also, too, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcast, if you could leave us a review, if you completed our challenge, feel free to put that in the comments and stuff. Try to keep it a little civil, but hey, you know, you're the masters of your own destiny, so we're not here to tell you what to do.
Yeah, that would help us out a lot if you guys would rate and review. Get more eyes and ears on the truth.
Yes, exactly. We are all about the truth here and busting open this cage of what the government's hiding from us. But also, too, thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us so far. We have a listener in Argentina now.
Argentina?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. I know very little about Argentina, but except for I'm sure it's very hot down there.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, right by the equator. But hey guys, happy Valentine's Day. enjoy yourself, be safe, especially if you're going for a succubus tonight. Like we said, we are not liable for any damages to your immortal soul or any of that great stuff.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Also, think of me when you bust.
Yeah, of course. Bye-bye.